Okay, welcome everyone. This is the deep dive. Today, we're really going to zero in on a pretty packed section of Ephesians, chapter 1, verses 15 to 23. And our goal isn't just a casual read through. We want to kind of dissect the ideas of power and authority Paul is laying out here.
Absolutely. The mission really is to grasp this one core thing Paul is praying for. He desperately wants a church and, well, you listening, to get the scale of this immense power. And it's not just a feeling, right? It's power that's actively working in believers. This whole section hinges on Christ's absolute supremacy.
Right. So this immense power, Paul spends quite a bit of time trying to describe it. He prays they understand it. So what's its defining feature? I mean, is he focused on where it comes from or what it achieves?
So definitely where it comes from. That's the anchor. He's very clear. This isn't just some generic divine boost. It is specifically the energy, the force of the resurrection itself. The power that brought Jesus back from the dead and, well, defeated death.
That same power.
The very same. That's the engine driving everything else he talks about here.
Okay, so if the source is resurrection power, then the consequence, the result, is Jesus's, well, his installation as supreme. The text immediately jumps to that, right?
Right.
It says, this power seats Jesus far above all rule and authority, power and dominion.
Yes, and that list is so important. It's comprehensive. Paul is like throwing every possible term for authority into the mix. He wants to leave absolutely no doubt, zero ambiguity about who's actually in charge.
He really covers all the bases there.
He does. It's not just he's king. It's like he's naming every potential rival, every category of influence you could possibly think of and saying, nope, Jesus is higher.
Okay, but if the resurrection already proved his ultimate power, why list them all out? Doesn't it feel a bit, well, redundant, like overkill?
It might seem that way to us now, maybe. But you have to remember who he was writing to. This wasn't just theory for them. For the Ephesians, this was hitting close to home. This was, you could say, practical anxiety management.
Ah, okay. Context.
Exactly. We need to plug this into their world. Ephesus, you see, was soaked in a couple of really specific cultural things that made this list absolutely vital.
Okay, what were they? What anxieties were shaping their world?
Well, first, there was the massive presence of magical arts. Ephesus was famous, or maybe infamous, for its magic spells, charms, amulets. The Ephesiogrammata, they were called.
All right, I've heard of those.
And second, related to that, was this pervasive, paralyzing fear. Fear of fate, sometimes personified as the goddess Tyche, and fear of spirits, demons, cosmic powers controlling everything. Health, weather, your destiny.
So when Paul lists rule, authority, power, and dominion, he wasn't just talking philosophical concepts.
Not at all. For the Ephesians, those were the spirits they thought might curse their harvest, the demonic forces their neighbors might invoke, the inescapable fate they felt trapped by. Real, tangible fears.
Got it. So he's naming their fears, essentially.
Precisely. He's looking at every source of anxiety in their world, the magic scrolls, the horoscope, the local deities, the fear of bad luck, and saying Christ is far, far above all of it.
Yeah.
Full stop. And then the knockout punch. If you are connected to Christ, that same resurrection power, the one that put him supreme, is actually at work in you.
So wrapping this up then, the core takeaway is Paul is performing a radical shift here. He's moving the whole basis of authority away from fear of magic, fear of fate, fear of these controlling spirits.
Yeah, and anchoring it firmly, immovably, in the resurrection power of Christ. The exalted Christ, who is undeniably the head of the church. It's a total reframing.
Okay, powerful stuff.
It really is. And maybe that leaves you, the listener, with something to think about. Considering Paul's focus was countering those specific first century fears in Ephesus, demons, fate, magic, what might be the modern rules, authorities, powers, or dominions he'd address today? Maybe economic systems, maybe cultural pressures, political forces, even overwhelming technology.
Yeah.
What holds that kind of fear or sway over people now?
Something definitely worth mulling over. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.